My boyfriend hosted a guy's weekend at our apartment while I was visiting my parents, but my neighbor texted me videos of women coming and going all weekend. When I got home early, the apartment was wrecked and reeked of perfume and alcohol. He insisted. Only the guys came over, your neighbor is lying. You know that gut-wrenching feeling when your entire world just shatters in front of your eyes? Imagine sitting in your car watching security camera footage, and realizing the person you love, the person you built a life with, thinks you're nothing more than a stupid, clueless safety net. What would you do if you saw that? Alright, so picture this. I'm sitting outside my sister Amy's apartment, my hands shaking, and I literally cannot process what I just saw on my security camera. I'm typing this out because I just need someone to tell me I'm not going insane. It all started on a Friday morning. I was heading to my parents' house about 3 hours away, because my dad had surgery scheduled and my mom needed my help. My boyfriend Gordon and I had been together for 2 years, living in our downtown apartment for about 8 months. I planned to stay until Monday morning. Gordon said he'd stay home to catch up on work. And honestly, I was totally fine with that. My parents' house is small, and Gordon isn't exactly the family guy type. Thursday night before I left, Gordon casually mentioned, "Hey, maybe I'll have the guys over Saturday to watch some games." I shrugged. "Sure, whatever, just clean up after yourselves." And he looked at me all sweet and said, "Obviously, babe, I'm not a slob." Famous last words, right? I drove to my parents' place Friday, everything normal. Gordon texted me Friday night, asking about my dad's surgery, saying he missed me. Saturday morning, another good morning, I love you. Then Saturday afternoon, I was helping my mom prep dinner when my phone buzzed. It was Jocelyn, our neighbor across the hall. Her text read, "Hey, I don't want to overstep, but there's been a lot of people going in and out of your apartment all day. Just wanted to make sure everything's okay." My first thought was, okay, guys watching games, it got a little loud. So I texted back, "Gordon's just having some friends over for sports, no big deal." Her reply, though? It made my stomach drop. "Okay, just checking because I saw several girls go in earlier." Several girls? I stared at the text. I asked Jocelyn what she meant. She said, like 4 or 5 different women throughout the afternoon. My heart started to race. I immediately texted Gordon, "How's the guys' hangout going?" He shot back, "Just chilling, watching the game. Pretty low-key." Low-key? While multiple women are parading in and out of our apartment. I texted Jocelyn back, asking if she was sure about the girls. She said, "Positive. I can send you video if you want. I have my doorbell camera footage." "Yes." I typed, my fingers flying. "Please send it." She sent me 3 video clips. I watched them right there in my parents' kitchen, my mom happily chopping vegetables, completely oblivious to the fact that my entire life was imploding. The first video Saturday around 2 p.m. 2 girls I'd never seen before, walking into our building. One blonde in a super tight dress, a brunette in basically a crop top and jeans. They were clearly dolled up, not dressed for a casual sports viewing party. Second video Saturday around 4 p.m. 3 more girls arriving, all dressed like they were hitting a club. One of them was even carrying a bottle of vodka. Third video Saturday around 6 p.m. The same girls leaving and coming back with even more people, including other guys I didn't recognize. I called Gordon immediately. He answered, and through the phone, I could hear loud music, shouts, laughter. "What's going on?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "What do you mean?" He replied, sounding annoyed. "It sounds like a party, Gordon." I snapped. "Oh yeah, a few more people showed up, but it's still pretty chill," he said dismissively. "What about the girls?" I pushed. "What girls? What girls?" He stammered, then got defensive. "Jocelyn must be confused, it's just the guys here." I told him. "She has video, Gordon." He immediately shot back. "Then she's recording the wrong apartment because there are no girls here." I asked him to FaceTime me right then. He said he couldn't, his phone was about to die. "Then charge it and call me back," I insisted. He promised he would. Then he hung up. He just hung up. My sister Amy, who was also visiting my parents that weekend, saw the look on my face. "What's wrong?" she asked. I showed her the videos. Her jaw dropped. "Oh hell no," she declared. "We are going back to your apartment right now." My mom, bless her innocent heart, tried to say, Maybe. It's innocent, honey. You should trust Gordon. But Amy was already grabbing her keys, practically pulling me out the door. We left Sunday morning at 6 a.m., telling my parents Dad was fine and we'd be back next weekend. The 3-hour drive was a blur, with Amy going on and on about what she was going to say to Gordon if he was actually cheating. I, on the other hand, spent the whole drive trying to convince myself there had to be some innocent explanation. We got to our apartment around 9:15 a.m. I used my key to open the door, and the smell hit me first. Alcohol, perfume, and just a general sickening grossness. The living room was trashed. Empty bottles everywhere. Cups on every surface. The couch cushions were on the floor. And then I saw it. A bra, a black lace bra that was definitely not mine, hanging off my TV. Amy walked in behind me. "What the actual hell?" she whispered. We just stood there, taking it all in. The kitchen was even worse. More bottles, pizza boxes, someone's high heel shoe just sitting on the counter next to what looked like spilled wine. The sink was overflowing with dishes and red Solo cups. Gordon. He was passed out in our bedroom, still fully clothed, thank God. But he absolutely reeked of alcohol and cheap perfume. I shook him awake. He opened his eyes, confused, then saw me. Panic flashed across his face. He sat straight up. "Babe, what are you doing here? What the hell happened to our apartment, Gordon?" I demanded. He blinked, looking around blearily. "Oh man, yeah, sorry about the mess. We got a little carried away last night." "Carried away?" I asked, my voice rising. "What about the bra on the TV? The high heel in the kitchen? The perfume smell everywhere?" He waved his hand dismissively. "What are you talking about? There were no girls here. Just the guys. Just the guys." I walked back into the living room, snatched the bra off the TV, and held it up to him. "Explain this then." He looked at it like he'd never seen it before. "I don't know. Maybe someone brought their girlfriend? You told me it was just guys." I reminded him, my voice dangerously low. "It was mostly just guys," he insisted. "And maybe a few people brought dates, but it wasn't like that." Meanwhile, Amy was in the living room, snapping photos of everything on her phone. Gordon saw her. "What are you doing?" he demanded. "Getting evidence of you being a lying cheat," she shot back. He jumped up, getting defensive, saying he didn't cheat on anyone, that we were being dramatic. I went to the bathroom, and there it was, makeup on my sink. Not my makeup. Different brands I don't use. A lipstick I'd never seen. Hair ties that weren't mine. I walked back into the bedroom, holding them up. "Explain these." His face went white. He mumbled something about them being there before, or someone used the bathroom, he didn't know. He tried to claim it wasn't even his party. People just started showing up. Just then, Amy called from the living room. "You need to see this." I went back out. She was holding up a pair of women's underwear she'd found wedged between the couch cushions. Not mine. A purple lace thong. I don't own purple lace anything. Gordon came out and saw the underwear. "Okay, that's weird," he said, his voice shaky. "But I swear I don't know whose that is." I asked him, "How do women's underwear end up in our living room if no girls were here?" He stammered. "Maybe Landon brought someone and things got out of hand, but I wasn't involved." "Get out of my face," I said, my voice thick with disgust. "Get out while I clean up and think." He tried to hug me. I pushed him away. He smelled like that cloying perfume and I wanted to vomit. Amy helped me start cleaning while Gordon sat on the porch, looking utterly pathetic. It took us 3 agonizing hours to clean everything. We found more evidence the whole time. Fake eyelashes on the bathroom floor, a hair extension in the kitchen, someone's phone number scrawled in lipstick on my mirror. The entire time, Gordon kept coming in, mumbling apologies about the mess but insisting nothing happened with anyone. "Yes, there were girls there," he conceded. "But I didn't touch any of them." He tried to tell me I was overreacting and letting my imagination run wild. He claimed Landon, Carl, and Anthony all brought people, and it just got bigger than he expected. But he was faithful the whole time. Amy finally had enough. "Gordon, shut up and leave so we can finish cleaning," she snapped. He slinked back outside. A few minutes later I heard him on the phone, probably with one of his buddies, saying, "My girlfriend came home early and is losing it over nothing." Nothing. After we finished, I remembered. The security camera. The one in the living room. Gordon knew about it, but he's terrible with technology and probably just forgot. It records to the cloud and I can access the footage from my phone. My hands trembled as I pulled up the app and scrolled back to Saturday. I started watching. What I saw made me want to throw up. Saturday afternoon around 2 p.m., just like he said. Gordon and his friends Landon, Carl, and Anthony. They were drinking, watching sports. Normal. Then around 2:30 p.m. the door opened. In walked the two girls from Jocelyn's video, the blonde and the brunette. And immediately, they were all over Gordon. Sitting on his lap, running their hands through his hair. He was laughing, drinking, and clearly into it. More people showed up throughout the afternoon. By 5 p.m. there were probably 15 people there. It was definitely a party. Gordon was dancing with different girls, making out with the blonde on our couch. Then he went into the kitchen with the brunette. They weren't visible on camera, but I could hear them flirting, their voices hushed. Around 7 p.m., the footage showed Gordon, Carl, and Landon in the living room with several girls. Someone had turned off most of the lights, but the camera still picked up enough. Gordon was making out with a different girl now, a redhead I'd never seen. His hands were all over her. Then came the absolute worst part. Around 9 p.m., Gordon and his boys were doing shots in the kitchen. The girls were in the living room dancing. And I could hear Gordon, clear as day on the audio, saying, "My girlfriend is so stupid. She'll never know about this." His friends laughed. Carl said, "Dude, you're playing with fire." Gordon just shrugged it off. "Nah, she trusts me completely. She's clueless." Landon chimed in. "What if someone tells her?" And Gordon, that smug bastard, said, "Who's going to tell her? Everyone here knows to keep their mouth shut." Then Anthony asked, "What about all these random girls?" And Gordon, with pure arrogance, said, "They don't know who I am or where I live after tonight." And then, Gordon said something that made me actually gasp out loud, sitting there in my now clean living room, with Amy watching over my shoulder. He said, "Honestly, I'm just keeping her around until I find someone hotter. Anyway, she's like my safety net." Safety net. Amy snatched my phone. She rewound it. We watched that part 3 more times. Gordon calling me stupid. Gordon saying he's looking for someone hotter. Gordon calling me his safety net like I'm some backup plan while he's searching for something better. The footage continued. It got worse. Gordon taking girls into our bedroom. Coming out 20 minutes later, adjusting his clothes. Different girls going in and out of the bathroom. People doing shots off each other. This went on until 4 a.m. when the last people finally left and Gordon passed out. I saved all the footage to my phone, downloaded every single video file from Saturday afternoon through Sunday morning. Amy helped me make sure it was all backed up to 3 different places. Then I sat there trying to figure out what to do. Part of me wanted to confront Gordon immediately, throw the videos in his face. But another part of me remembered him calling me stupid and clueless, saying, "I'd never know." Talking about me like I was completely disposable. Gordon came back inside around 2 p.m. looking for Lorne. "Can we talk?" he asked. I looked him dead in the eye and said, "Sure, let's talk." He sat down and launched into this elaborate apology about how the party got out of hand, and he should have controlled it better, but nothing happened between him and anyone else. He swore yes, there were girls there, but they were other people's guests, not his. I looked at him, my heart a stone. "Swear on our relationship that nothing happened," I said. He looked me right in the eyes, unblinking. "I swear on everything. Nothing happened. I was faithful to you the whole time." He said, other people must have used our apartment, and he was sorry he didn't keep better track. I just nodded, a slight smile playing on my lips. "Okay," I said, my voice eerily calm. "I believe you." His face lit up. He started going on about how he knew I'd understand, how we were good, how he loved me so much. I told him I was still upset about the mess and the lying about who was there, but we can work through it. Gordon hugged me tightly. "Thank you for trusting me," he whispered. I hugged him back, my mind replaying his words on that video. Clueless and stupid. Amy shot me a look like I was insane. I subtly texted her, "I have a plan. Just go with it." She looked skeptical but didn't say a word. Gordon spent the rest of Sunday trying to make it up to me. Ordered my favorite food. Finished the remaining cleaning. Kept apologizing for the mess. I played along perfectly. I asked him about his weekend, and he spun this elaborate tale about just him and the guys watching games, and how a few extra people showed up, but it was super low-key. Every word was a lie, and I had video proof. And he had no idea. Monday morning, Gordon went to work like normal, kissed me goodbye, said he loved me. I just said it back, watched him leave, and then I sat down with all that security footage. My planning had begun. Update 1: the last 2 weeks? They've been the most exhausting performance of my entire life. But I need to tell you everything because Gordon's world just came crashing down spectacularly, and I'm sitting here at Amy's apartment watching it all unfold. Monday, after finding everything, I went to work like normal. I spent my lunch break making a solid plan. First, I downloaded all the security footage to a USB drive and gave copies to Amy and my best friend Joanna, who I've known since college. I told them both very seriously, if anything happens to me or my copies, these need to exist. Amy immediately wanted me to just dump him. No, I said. I need to be strategic. Gordon thinks I'm stupid and clueless, so I'm going to use that. Monday night, Gordon came home with flowers. Flowers. He said he felt so bad about the weekend mess and wanted to make it up to me. I thanked him, put them in water, and acted like everything was perfectly fine. We had dinner, watched TV. He kept touching me, being affectionate. I just smiled through it, remembering the video of him making out with that redhead on our couch. Tuesday morning, after Gordon left for work, I noticed he'd forgotten his phone on the nightstand. A few minutes later, he texted me from his work computer, asking if I could bring it to him on my lunch break. Sure, no problem, I replied. But first, I went through it. Yes, I know his passcode. We've been together 2 years, and he'd never been secretive before. I opened his messages, and there it was. A group chat with Landon, Carl, and Anthony called Boys Weekend. I scrolled up to Saturday. Oh, my God. The messages started Saturday afternoon. Anthony: this party is getting wild. Gordon responded: I know, dude, this is awesome. Carl sent a photo of 2 of the girls dancing. Gordon replied: the blonde one is so hot. Then around 8 p.m. Landon sent: you better delete all these messages before your girl sees them. Gordon's reply: LOL. She's not smart enough to check my phone, but good call. Anthony shot back: dude, you're playing with fire. And Gordon, still so arrogant, said: nah, I got this under control. She believes everything I tell her. I took screenshots of everything. Every message, every photo they shared. All of it backed up to my cloud storage. Tuesday night, I cooked Gordon's favorite meal. He came home so happy. Kept saying how lucky he was to have me, how other guys wished they had a girlfriend like me. I just smiled and said, I'm the lucky one. He had no idea I'd spent the day screenshotting him, calling me not smart enough. Wednesday, I started phase 2. I called the landlord and explained that Gordon and I were breaking up, and I needed to know what it would take to get him off the lease. She said since we were both on it, we either both had to agree to break it, or one person could take over the full lease with the other person's signature. I told her I wanted to take over the full lease and I'd pay whatever fees were involved. She said fine, she just needed Gordon to sign the release forms. I'll handle that, I said. Then I asked when our lease was up. Not until August, 7 months away. The penalty for breaking it early? 3 months rent. I did the math. $4,500. I didn't have that liquid right now, but my parents did. When I called my mom and explained the situation, she said she'd loan it to me, no questions asked. My dad even got on the phone and said he always knew Gordon was a piece of work, and he was proud of me for handling this smartly. Wednesday night, Gordon suggested we go out for dinner. I said, sure, where do you want to go? He picked this nice place we only went to for special occasions. We got dressed up, went. The whole dinner he was being extra sweet and attentive, holding my hand, telling me how beautiful I was, talking about future plans. At one point he said, you know, I've been thinking maybe we should start looking at houses to buy. I almost choked on my wine. I asked him why the sudden interest in houses. He said he was ready to take the next step with me, that he saw a future with me and wanted to make it official. I just smiled and said, that sounds nice. Let's talk more about it. He said he loved me so much and felt like the luckiest guy. I love you too, I said. The whole time I was thinking about him, saying, I'm just his safety net until he finds someone hotter. Thursday, I met with Joanna for coffee. She works in PR and I asked her opinion on how to handle this publicly. She said it depended on what outcome I wanted. I told her, I want Gordon to face actual social consequences for treating me like garbage and lying to everyone. Joanna asked if I had proof. I showed her some of the security footage on my phone. She watched Gordon making out with girls in our living room and calling me stupid. She looked up, utterly disgusted. Oh, he's done. She helped me compile everything into a clear timeline with timestamps and notes about what was happening in each video. Friday morning, Gordon left for work. I started packing. Not obviously, just slowly going through my stuff, separating what was mine from what was ours, taking photos of everything in the apartment for documentation, making lists of what I was taking when I left. I called Amy and asked if I could stay with her for a while when this all went down. She said absolutely. Her spare room was mine for as long as I needed. She has a one-bedroom, but she said she'd take the couch and I could have her room. I told her that was too much, but she insisted. Gordon treated you like trash, you're getting the bedroom. Friday night, I suggested we have a quiet night in. Gordon agreed. We ordered pizza and watched a movie. He fell asleep on the couch with his head in my lap, and I just looked at him, wondering how someone could lie so easily, how he could look me in the eyes and say he loved me while planning to trade up to someone hotter. Saturday morning, Gordon asked what I wanted to do for the weekend. I suggested we do something fun, just the two of us. He enthusiastically suggested this arcade bar we both liked. We spent Saturday afternoon there drinking and playing games. He was taking photos of us for Instagram, posted one with a caption about how lucky he was to have me. The comments were full of his friends saying, "Couple goals," and "You guys are so cute." Landon even commented, "When's the wedding, bro?" And Gordon replied, "Soon hopefully," with a ring emoji. I commented back with a heart emoji and liked all the supportive comments, knowing exactly what these same friends watched him do a week ago. I'd also consulted a lawyer about the stuff in the apartment. She said anything I could prove was mine I should take. Anything joint was technically whoever had possession. I showed her my list and she said it looked good just to document everything with photos. Tuesday night, Gordon suggested we start looking at engagement rings online. Engagement rings. I said I thought we were looking at houses first and he said, "Why not both?" We spent an hour looking at rings and he kept asking what style I liked. I kept giving vague answers, dying inside. Wednesday, Amy came over while Gordon was at work. We started slowly moving my really important stuff to her apartment. My laptop, important documents, some clothes. Things Gordon wouldn't immediately notice were gone. She asked when I was pulling the trigger, and I said, Saturday after Landon's party. Wednesday night, Gordon cooked dinner, which he never does. Spaghetti and garlic bread. He was being super romantic, lighting candles, playing music, constantly saying how much he appreciated me. I asked what the occasion was. He just smiled. No occasion. I just love you. After dinner, he actually got down on one knee. My heart stopped. Oh my God, he's proposing, and I'm going to have to say yes and then figure out how to handle this. But instead, he just tied my shoe that had come undone and laughed. Got you. I fake laughed too while my heart was still racing. Thursday, I finished getting everything lined up. I signed the lease takeover papers. Got the check from my parents for the breaking fee. Packed 2 more suitcases of my stuff and put them in my car trunk where Gordon wouldn't see. Made a folder on my computer with all the evidence organized and ready to share. Thursday night, Gordon wanted to talk serious stuff. He said he'd been thinking a lot about our future, and he really wanted to marry me. He asked if I'd say yes if he proposed. Of course I love you, I said. He told me he was going to start ring shopping for real, and wanted to propose by summer. I just nodded and smiled. That sounds perfect. All while thinking about how in 48 hours his entire life was going to explode. Friday morning I woke up before Gordon and just watched him sleep. This man who I had loved for 2 years, who I lived with and made a home with and planned a future with, who called me stupid and clueless and his safety net, who cheated on me in our apartment and then lied to my face about it for 2 weeks. Friday afternoon I met with Joanna again. She helped me prepare what I called the receipt package. A compiled document with all the security footage clips edited together, screenshots of all the text messages, a detailed timeline of events, and a written statement from me about what happened. Joanna said, "When you're ready to release this, it's going to blow up. Gordon's going to face serious social consequences." I said, "Good. That's exactly what I want. She asked if I was sure I wanted to go this public. Absolutely, I said. He called me stupid and clueless. He doesn't get to just walk away from this quietly. Friday night, Gordon came home with more flowers and a bottle of wine. Said he wanted us to have a nice dinner before Landon's party tomorrow. We cooked together, drank wine, and he kept touching me and being sweet. I played along perfectly. At one point he said, "I don't know what I'd do without you." And I just looked at him, a tiny smirk forming on my face. You'll never have to find out. Saturday morning I woke up with a purpose. Gordon was still asleep. I went to the living room and looked around at our apartment. Our life together. 2 years of memories. I took photos of everything one last time. Gordon woke up around 10 a.m. and asked what I was doing. Just cleaning up a bit, I said. He came over and hugged me from behind. I'm excited for tonight, he whispered. Me too, I replied. Landon's party should be fun, and after that, maybe we can talk more about rings and houses and our future. We got ready for Landon's party that afternoon. I wore a nice dress, did my makeup. Gordon kept saying how hot I looked and how lucky he was. We drove to Landon's place, and the whole way there he was holding my hand, being affectionate. We got to the party and it was just couples, like Gordon said. Landon and his girlfriend, Beatrice. Carl and his girlfriend, Ivy. Anthony was there solo. A few other people I knew from Gordon's friend group. Everyone was drinking, hanging out. It was actually pretty normal, until I excused myself to use the bathroom. As I walked past Landon's bedroom, I heard Gordon's voice coming from inside. The door was cracked open. I stopped. I listened. Gordon was saying to Landon and Carl that Ashley had been texting him, and he was trying to figure out how to meet up with her without me finding out. Carl said, "Dude, didn't you learn your lesson from last weekend?" And Gordon, that absolute fool, replied, "Last weekend was fine. I handled it perfectly. My girl doesn't suspect a thing." Landon said, "You're crazy, man. You're going to get caught." Gordon just scoffed. "Nah, she's too trusting. Plus, I'm being extra nice lately. So even if something seems weird, she'll just believe whatever I tell her." Anthony walked in then. "Are we talking about Ashley?" Gordon grinned. "Yeah, I'm trying to hit that, but timing is tricky." They all laughed. Someone said, "Gordon, you're terrible." And he said, "Terrible but not stupid. I know how to keep my girl happy while still having fun on the side." I stood in that hallway, listening to the man I lived with tell his friends he was planning to cheat on me again, while I was standing 20 feet away at his friend's party. That's when I knew. I was done performing, done pretending, done giving him one more second of my life. I walked back to the living room and found Gordon talking to Beatrice. I walked right up to him. "We need to leave now." He asked why. "I'm not feeling well," I said. He looked annoyed but said, "Okay, let me finish my drink." My eyes narrowed. "Now, Gordon." He made quick excuses to everyone and we left. In the car he asked what was wrong. "Just drop me at Amy's. I'm going to stay there tonight." He looked confused. "What? Why?" "Because I need space," I said, my voice flat. He immediately got defensive, asking what he did wrong. "Nothing," I lied. "I just need space." He dropped me at Amy's around 8 p.m. He tried to come in and talk, but I said, "No, just go home. I'll text you later." He looked confused and hurt, then drove away. As soon as he was gone, I texted Amy the code word we'd arranged. Showtime. Amy pulled up the receipt package we prepared. At exactly 9 p.m. we sent it. To everyone. Gordon's friends, Gordon's coworkers, Gordon's family, my family, our mutual friends, everyone. The package included the security footage of Gordon making out with multiple girls. The audio of him calling me stupid and clueless. The text messages with his friends about the party and about Ashley. And my statement explaining exactly what happened. Then I changed my Facebook status to single and posted some of the security footage clips with a caption. "This is what my boyfriend did while I was visiting my sick dad. Then he lied to my face about it for 2 weeks while planning to do it again. Thought I was too stupid to figure it out? Think again." My phone exploded. Messages from everyone who received the package. Messages from people who saw my Facebook post. Missed calls from Gordon started at 9:15 p.m. Voicemails from him saying, "What the hell is going on? Call me back right now." At 10 p.m., Gordon showed up at Amy's door, pounding on it, yelling my name, screaming, "We need to talk." Amy told him through the door that I didn't want to talk to him, and he needed to leave. He said he wasn't leaving until I came out. Amy said she was calling the police, and he finally left. Final update. Okay, so Saturday night after I posted, everything was absolute chaos. And I need to walk you through what happened next because Gordon completely lost it, and the last 3 days have been absolutely insane. After Gordon left Amy's apartment around 10 p.m. Saturday night, my phone would not stop. Texts and calls from everyone who saw the footage. My mom called crying, saying she was so proud of me for standing up for myself. My dad called saying if Gordon ever came near me, he'd have problems. Joanna called, saying the videos were spreading like wildfire, and Gordon was getting roasted in the comments. But I was also getting messages from Gordon's friends and family. His mom, Alana, texted, saying she couldn't believe I would humiliate her son like this publicly instead of handling it privately. His brother, Charles, sent a long message about how I was ruining Gordon's reputation over a misunderstanding. Landon texted saying I was being vindictive and Gordon was a mess right now. I didn't respond to any of them. I just watched my phone blow up while Amy ordered pizza, and we sat on her couch, processing everything. Around 11 p.m., Amy showed me Facebook. Gordon had deleted his entire account. His Instagram was gone too. I checked the group chat with his friends and he'd left it. Sunday morning, I woke up to 43 missed calls from Gordon and 17 voicemails. I listened to the first few. The first one, at 9:30 p.m. Saturday, was him yelling about how could I do this to him and demanding I call him back immediately. By the 1 a.m. voicemail he was crying saying, "Please, we need to talk. I can explain everything." The 4 a.m. voicemail? That one was a doozy. He was sobbing saying his mom wouldn't stop calling him, and his brother thought he was disgusting. He said Landon's girlfriend, Beatrice, saw the videos, and now Landon was mad at him for bringing that energy around her. He cried that his life was falling apart, and it was all my fault for overreacting. My fault for overreacting to him cheating and calling me stupid? Amy heard me listening. "Don't you dare call him back," she warned. "I'm not," I said. "I just wanted to hear what he's saying." She made me delete his number right there so I wouldn't be tempted. I told her I had it memorized. "Then we're changing your number tomorrow," she declared. Sunday around noon, Gordon showed up at Amy's apartment again. He rang the doorbell probably 50 times. Amy told him through the door that I wasn't there. He yelled, "Her car is in the parking lot. I know she's here." Amy, ever so calm, said, "Even if she is here, she doesn't want to talk to you, so leave." Gordon started screaming through the door, saying he had a right to explain himself, that I was being unfair, not giving him a chance. Amy told him she was calling the police if he didn't leave in 60 seconds. He finally left, but I watched from the window as he just sat in his car in the parking lot for 2 hours. I texted Jocelyn and asked her to check if Gordon was at our apartment. She said his car wasn't there, but she hadn't seen him since yesterday. I thanked her, and she said she was sorry she ever doubted the girls were there, and to let her know if I needed anything. Sunday afternoon, my parents drove to Amy's. My mom brought food, and my dad brought boxes to help me move the rest of my stuff out of the apartment. We decided to go Sunday evening, figuring Gordon would probably be at his mom's or somewhere else trying to deal with the fallout. We got to the apartment around 6 p.m. Gordon's car wasn't there. I used my key and walked in. It still smelled like alcohol. I found empty beer bottles in the living room. The TV was still on. It looked like Gordon had been camping out here getting drunk. My dad started loading boxes while my mom helped me pack my clothes. We worked fast because I absolutely did not want to be there when Gordon came back. We got most of my stuff loaded in about 2 hours. I was packing my bathroom stuff when I heard the front door open. Gordon walked in, saw us, and just froze. He looked at my dad loading boxes, my mom packing my things, and me standing there with my toiletries bag. "What are you doing?" he asked, his voice hoarse. "I'm moving out," I stated simply. "You can't just move out. We live here together," he cried. "Actually," I said, my voice steady, "I can. And I am." He looked at my dad. "Can you give us a minute?" My dad, bless him, just said, "No, I don't think I will." Gordon turned back to me. "This is between me and her." My dad's voice was firm. You lost the right to privacy when you cheated on my daughter and called her stupid. Gordon's face went scarlet. He turned to me. We need to talk about this, just the two of us. There's nothing to talk about, I said. I'm leaving. He tried to say I was overreacting and we can work through this. I asked him, what exactly are we working through, Gordon? The cheating? Or the lying? Or him calling me his safety net until he finds someone hotter? Gordon tried to say that's not what he meant, that I was taking it out of context. I have video, I told him, with full context. He then had the audacity to say I had no right to record him in his own home. It's our home, Gordon, I corrected him. And the camera has been there for 6 months and you knew about it. You just forgot because you're so used to lying, you didn't think about covering your tracks. He started getting defensive, saying I violated his privacy by going through his phone. You violated our relationship by cheating, I shot back. He then tried to claim he didn't cheat because nothing actually happened. I actually laughed. I watched you make out with multiple women on our couch, Gordon, I said, incredulous. He then said with a straight face, making out isn't sex, so technically I didn't cheat. Technically? My mom stopped packing. Young man, she said, her voice shaking with quiet fury. You better not be standing here trying to justify cheating with technicalities. Gordon looked at my mom, momentarily stunned. With all due respect, this is between me and your daughter. My mom was having none of it. Respect is something you clearly don't understand if you think making out with other women, while insulting your girlfriend, is acceptable behavior. Gordon tried a different approach. Okay, fine. He made mistakes, but relationships are about forgiveness. That we've been together 2 years and built a life. And I'm throwing it all away over one bad weekend. I told him it wasn't one bad weekend. It was 2 weeks of lying to my face after the bad weekend. He said he lied because he knew I'd overreact exactly like this. I asked if overreacting meant having self-respect and refusing to be someone's safety net. He looked down, saying he never meant that safety net thing. He was just drunk and talking trash with his boys. Drunk words, I said, are sober thoughts. Gordon sat down on the couch and put his head in his hands. You're ruining my life, he mumbled. My friends won't talk to me, and my mom is disappointed. And his coworkers saw the videos, and now I'm humiliated. Good, I said, my voice cold. Maybe being humiliated will teach you not to humiliate other people. He looked up at me. So that's it? You're just done with us. I said I was done the second I watched him call me stupid and clueless and plan to cheat on me again. He tried to claim he wasn't actually going to do anything with Ashley. He was just talking. You were texting her, I reminded him, and calling her hot, and saying you wanted to hang out. Gordon said that's just flirting. It doesn't mean anything. I asked if it meant nothing, then why hide it? He said because I'm paranoid and jealous. I told him, I'm not paranoid. I'm informed, because I have proof of everything. He then said I was vindictive for posting it publicly instead of talking to him privately. I did this publicly, I told him, because you called me stupid publicly to your friends and planned to keep lying to me publicly while everyone knew except me. He said that's different. I asked him how. He couldn't answer. My dad finished loading the last box. We're done here, he said. Let's go. Gordon stood up. Wait, please, just give me a chance to make this right. I asked him how he planned to make it right. He said he'd do whatever it takes. Counseling, transparency with his phone, cutting off his friends who encouraged this, anything. I told him it was too late for anything. That I didn't trust him and I didn't want to trust him again. He said relationships take work. And I was giving up too easily. I gave up, I told him, at exactly the right time. When I found out who you really are. Gordon tried to grab my hand. I pulled away sharply. Please don't leave. I love you, he begged, his voice cracking. You don't love me, I said, a bitter truth in my words. You love having someone to take care of you and make you look good, while you do whatever you want behind their back. That's not true, he cried. Then explain the safety net comment, I challenged. He started crying then, real tears running down his face. He said he was just being stupid and insecure, and he does love me. That losing me was making him realize how much I meant to him. I told him he should have realized that before he cheated, not after he got caught. My mom said, "We need to go." I followed her to the door. Gordon followed us, pleading, "Please, please don't do this." My dad turned around. "Gordon, if you contact her again, or show up anywhere she is, you're going to have serious problems." Gordon stammered, saying he had a right to talk to his girlfriend. Ex-girlfriend, I corrected him. We left. I heard Gordon yelling my name from the doorway, but I didn't turn around. I got to my car and just sat there for a minute, while my parents loaded the last of my stuff. Amy texted asking if I was okay. "I will be," I replied. Sunday night back at Amy's, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Gordon crying and begging. Part of me felt bad, I'll admit. But a bigger part remembered him laughing with his friends about how clueless I was. Remembered him planning to cheat again. Remembered 2 years of what I thought was love being called a safety net. Monday morning, I called the landlord and explained I was moving out and breaking the lease. She confirmed she'd received my paperwork, and the check, and Gordon just needed to sign the release. I asked if he'd been by, and she said not yet. I told her I'd handle getting his signature. Monday afternoon, I texted Gordon from Amy's phone, since I'd blocked his number. I said I needed him to sign the lease release papers and asked where I could bring them. He called Amy's phone immediately, and I answered. He said we needed to talk in person. I just said, "Just tell me where to bring the papers." He said, "Come to the apartment," and I said, "I'm not coming there." He said, "Then meet me somewhere neutral." We agreed to meet at a Starbucks near our apartment Tuesday morning. Monday night, Landon's girlfriend, Beatrice, messaged me on Instagram. She said she was so sorry for what happened and had no idea Gordon was doing all that. She said after she saw the videos, she told Landon she didn't want to be around Gordon anymore. Landon got defensive at first, but eventually agreed that what Gordon did was terrible. She said Carl's girlfriend, Ivy, felt the same way, and both of them were disgusted by what the guys enabled. I thanked her and told her I appreciated her reaching out. She said if I ever needed anything to let her know. Tuesday morning, I got to Starbucks at 10 a.m. I sat down across from him and pulled out the lease papers. I told him he needed to sign here, releasing me from the lease and agreeing to take full financial responsibility. He looked at the papers. "What if I don't sign?" he said. "Then I'll take you to small claims court for my half of the breaking fee," I replied, my voice even. "And everyone will see even more details about why I left." He said I was threatening him. "I'm giving you options," I corrected him. Gordon said he'd sign if I agreed to talk to him for 30 minutes. Fine. 30 minutes, I conceded. He signed the papers and I put them in my bag. Then he launched into this speech about how sorry he was, how he'd been doing a lot of thinking and realized he'd messed up badly. I just sat there sipping my coffee while he talked. He said he'd been talking to his mom and his brother and even considered seeing a therapist. That he understood why I was upset, and he didn't blame me, but he thought we could get past this if I gave him a real chance. I asked what a real chance looked like. He said time to prove he'd changed. That he'd cut off all the friends who encouraged the party. That he'd be completely transparent with his phone and social media. That he'd go to counseling. That he'd do whatever it takes to rebuild trust. I told him, trust isn't something you rebuild. It's something you don't break in the first place. He said, everyone makes mistakes. And I said, not everyone throws a party with multiple women while their girlfriend visits her sick father, and then lies about it for 2 weeks while planning to do it again. Gordon said the Ashley thing wasn't real planning. He was just entertaining the idea. So, I said, a dry laugh escaping me, you were only considering cheating on me again. That makes it so much better. He accused me of being sarcastic and unfair. I'm being honest, Gordon, I said. Which is more than you ever were. He asked if there was anything he could do to fix this. No, I said simply. He said I wasn't even willing to try. I tried for 2 years, I told him. While you lied and cheated and called me stupid. He said 1 weekend doesn't negate 2 years. It does, I said. When that weekend revealed what you really think of me. Gordon tried to say he didn't think I was stupid, he was just drunk and talking trash. I asked if drunk people make out with multiple women at parties they're hosting while their girlfriend is out of town. He said lots of people make mistakes at parties. Not people in committed relationships, I corrected him. The 30 minutes ended. I stood up to leave. Gordon said, "Wait, can I at least text you sometimes?" "No," I said. "I blocked your number." He followed me out of Starbucks to my car. He said he wasn't giving up on us. "There is no us, Gordon," I said, my voice firm. "And there never will be again." He said I was being cold and harsh. "I'm being smart," I replied, "and protecting myself from someone who treats me like garbage." Gordon said if I walked away now I was going to regret it. That he was a good guy who made one mistake and most women would be willing to work through it. "Then you should find one of those women," I told him. "Because I'm not her." He said I used to be understanding and forgiving. "I used to be a lot of things," I said. "Before I watched video of my boyfriend cheating on me. I got in my car and locked the doors." Gordon stood there watching me drive away. I saw him in my rearview mirror, just standing in the parking lot, looking lost. Wednesday morning, the landlord confirmed Gordon signed the papers, and I was released from the lease. The breaking fee was paid, and as of Friday, I'm officially moved out. She said Gordon came by asking if there was any way to add someone else to the lease to help with rent, and she said not until the current lease ends in August. Wednesday afternoon, my mom called and said she was proud of how I handled everything. That walking away from someone who doesn't respect you is the strongest thing you can do. My dad got on and said Gordon was lucky he didn't have to deal with him face to face because he wanted to punch him. Thursday, I got a message on Instagram from Ashley, the girl Gordon was texting. She said she had no idea he had a girlfriend and she was so sorry. Thursday night, Gordon showed up at Amy's apartment at 4 a.m. 4 in the morning, banging on the door, screaming my name, crying, "Please delete the videos. My life is ruined." Amy called the police immediately while Gordon kept pounding and yelling. He was screaming about how his friends wouldn't talk to him, and people at work saw the videos and he was humiliated everywhere he went. That his mom was disappointed, and his brother wouldn't return his calls. That he was sorry and he'd do anything, but I needed to take down the videos. The police showed up in maybe 8 minutes and found Gordon sitting on the floor outside Amy's door, crying. They asked if he lived here and he said no. They asked if he was invited, and he said no, but he needed to talk to someone inside. They told him that was trespassing and he needed to leave. Gordon said he just wanted to talk to his girlfriend. And the officer, bless him, said, "Sir, if your girlfriend wanted to talk to you, she'd answer the door." They escorted him to his car and watched him drive away. The officer came back and told Amy this was the second time they'd responded to calls about him here, and if it happened again, they'd arrest him. Landon texted Amy's phone saying, "Gordon is staying with his mom now and completely falling apart. Maybe you should consider taking down some of the videos since you made your point." I didn't respond. I don't owe Gordon or his friends anything. They watched him cheat and encouraged it, and now they're upset he's facing consequences. It's Saturday now. I'm writing this from Amy's apartment, where I'm staying until I find my own place. Gordon hasn't tried to contact me since Thursday night when the police came. I'm guessing his mom or a lawyer or someone finally told him to stop. My phone is full of messages from people supporting me. Friends saying I did the right thing. Coworkers saying they're proud of me. To everyone who said collect evidence before confronting, that saved me from endless, he said, she said. To everyone who said walking away is strength, not weakness, I'm learning that. I'm 26 years old, single, living with my sister temporarily, and rebuilding my life after 2 years with someone who called me his safety net. And you know what? I'm okay. Better than okay. Because I'm not stupid or clueless. I'm smart enough to collect evidence, strategic enough to plan my exit, and strong enough to walk away from someone who doesn't value me. Call to action. Honestly, going through all this has been a whirlwind of emotions, but I wouldn't change how I handled it. What about you? Have you ever had to pull the plug on a relationship in a big, dramatic way? Or maybe just dealt with someone who really underestimated you? Tell me what you think. I really want to know what you would have done. Drop your thoughts in the comments below.